Gigantic black waves rise like monstrous walls, crashing with deafening force against rugged cliffs. The wind howls, a primal scream echoing over the tumultuous sea. 3 miles offshore, a passenger ferry, a tiny speck, plunges through the violent waves. Unknowing, the ferry hurtles directly towards hidden jagged rocks, swallowed by the ocean's fury. In the lighthouse lantern room, Mara Elson, her face etched with a lifetime of stories, meticulously turns the great lens. The clock on the wall reads 8 p.m. as the powerful beam defiantly slices through the oppressive, storm-ridden darkness. A blinding flash of lightning rips through the sky, striking the outer generator with a deafening crack. The entire lighthouse plunges into absolute pitch black, the comforting sentinel extinguished. Only the howling fury of the wind and rain outside remains, a chilling symphony of despair. Mara races down the spiraling lighthouse stairs, her heart a frantic drum against her ribs. The absolute darkness is disorienting, a crushing void as she fumbles for the backup switch. Her fingers tremble, desperate, as she flips the switch with a click that echoes in the blackness. Nothing, only the chilling lament of the wind screaming through broken window panes surrounds her. The tempest rages, a furious roar, as Mara stands alone in the oppressive darkness. Then, a faint, distant horn pierces the din, a ghostly call in the overwhelming night. Rain lashes against the thick glass of the lighthouse base as the wind howls like a banshee, mirroring Mara's growing alarm. Mara's eyes widen in stark realization as the mournful bellow of the ferry horn echoes again, unmistakably close. Dread grips her, picturing the jagged reef, a silent predator lurking beneath the tumultuous waves, invisible without light. A grim determination hardens Mara's features, her resolve steeling against the encroaching disaster. She snatches up emergency lanterns, their weak, flickering glow a defiant challenge against the overwhelming darkness. In the lighthouse control room, the manual crank system stands ominously, shrouded in dust and forgotten time. I grip the rusted lever, knuckles white, straining with all my might as the metal grinds in protest. The lever remains jammed, a cruel, unyielding obstacle against the impending disaster. The ferry's horn blares again, a mournful, desperate plea, cutting through the oppressive night. Closer now. I envision the faces of the passengers, unaware of the catastrophe hurtling towards them in the dark. Mara ascends the spiral stairs, taking them 2 at a time, fueled by adrenaline, her breath coming in ragged gasps. The wind howls, bursting through the shattered glass of the top chamber, lashing rain across the giant lens. The complex mechanism, once a beacon of hope, is now frozen, seized by rust and neglect. Each desperate gasp for air echoes in the desolate lighthouse, a silent scream against the storm. In the lighthouse lantern room, Mara grips a heavy wrench, its cold weight a stark contrast to her trembling hands. With gritted teeth, she forces the gears of the frozen mechanism, ancient metal screaming in protest under the strain. Her hands slip on the wet, cold iron, a gash opening on her palm as blood mixes with rain, blurring her vision. The ferry's horn blasts again, much closer now, a terrifying urgency echoing through the small, desperate room. In the lighthouse lantern room, Mara peers into the impenetrable darkness, her breath misting in the frigid air. A sudden flash of lightning momentarily illuminates the churning sea, revealing a dark silhouette. The ferry, a ghostly vessel, drifts inexorably towards the jagged, unforgiving reef. The terrifying sight galvanizes Mara, overriding her pain and exhaustion with a renewed sense of purpose. Mara races down the spiraling metal staircase, her frantic footsteps echoing in the dead silence of the lighthouse. Breath ragged, she tears open a metal box labeled "Emergency Flares," her urgency palpable. Her hands snatch a cylindrical flare, its ominous glow reflecting in the flickering, dim light. The useless crank and dead electric system emphasize the critical, desperate situation. Mara scales the lighthouse, reaching the narrow catwalk that encircles the lantern room, a solitary figure against the tumultuous night. A violent, unseen force of wind assails her, threatening to rip her from the precarious railing. her grip a desperate lifeline. 200 feet below, monstrous waves detonate against jagged rocks, sending colossal plumes of spray high into the frigid air. The relentless sea roars, its thunderous impact echoing the very sound of bombs exploding in the dark abyss below. With a sudden, defiant motion, Mara ignites the first flare, a brilliant burst of crimson fire piercing the overwhelming darkness. The vivid red light illuminates the churning, chaotic sea, painting a stark, dramatic scene of survival and peril. Rain lashes down, driven by the gale, as Mara stands silhouetted on the lighthouse catwalk, a lone figure against the raging sea. She holds a red flare high, its crimson glow, a stark, desperate contrast to the churning blackness of the storm-tossed ocean. Frustration twists her face as the distant ferry turns the wrong way, oblivious to her fiery pleas, forcing Mara to light another flare. A sudden, brilliant idea sparks in her eyes, a memory of forgotten technology, as desperate bursts of light fight the overwhelming storm. On the lighthouse catwalk, Mara strains, dragging a heavy, decades-old signal mirror into position. A sudden lightning flash illuminates the raging sea, revealing tumultuous waves crashing against the rocks below. Mara seizes the fleeting light, angling the mirror to reflect a fiery red streak across the tempestuous ocean. She repeats the urgent signal, a rhythmic flash cutting through the storm, her determination unwavering. Again and again, the red light pierces the darkness, a desperate beacon against the furious night. Rain lashes against the ferry's reinforced glass, blurring the world outside into a tumultuous darkness. The captain, his face etched with years at sea, squints, his gaze piercing the stormy abyss. A sharp, crimson streak of light slices through the downpour. Then another, an ominous signal in the night. A chill washes over me as I realize these are not random flashes, but a deliberate, unsettling message. My voice barks orders, cutting through the thrumming engines as the helmsman instantly adjusts course. The massive vessel begins a slow, agonizing pivot against the relentless pull of powerful currents. Under the cloak of night, the jagged reef, a silent predator, lurks just beneath the churning ocean surface. Tension mounts as a digital countdown flashes. 10, 8, 5 seconds, ticking closer to unseen peril. With a sudden, violent shudder, the ferry narrowly clears the deadly rocks by mere meters, a breath-holding escape. The immediate danger passes, and an unspoken, collective sigh of profound relief washes over the entire vessel. The ferry, now in deeper water, steadies itself against the retreating storm, a beacon of resilience. Drenched and shivering, Mara leans heavily against the railing, the adrenaline draining from her weary body. A moment of profound stillness hangs in the air, the world holding its breath. Then, a deep, grateful blast from the ferry's horn echoes across the calming ocean, a triumphant roar. Morning light bathes the lighthouse as rescue crews swarm with purpose. The generators hum a new song of hope. A flurry of microphones and cameras surrounds Mara, hailing her as a hero, but her gaze drifts beyond them. Mara stands quietly, her eyes fixed on the serene expanse of the sea, a stark contrast to yesterday's chaos. She offers a profound truth. The light doesn't refuse to shine, it just needs someone stubborn enough to keep it alive. As night descends, the lighthouse beam pierces the inky blackness, a brilliant, unwavering testament to her spirit. The powerful beam cuts through the darkness, a symbol of resilience and enduring light against the vast, unforgiving sea.